Dude, you talk about some lucky ass on $1.50 bet.
All right, welcome back to Game Time Ballers podcast. And on the docket today, me and Josh going to give you a recap of our weekend at the National Sports Collectors Convention, because good Lord Almighty, that crowd is a crowd that I never knew about. Josh apparently knew a little bit about it once we got there, but I knew nothing about that crowd, and that crowd is freaking nuts, man. They take that serious. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can tell a little bit more about that, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't followed the sports card trading and the sports card collecting hobbies, but I'm super into the Pokemon cards. So a lot of people that I've been watching on like TikTok lives, they were live streaming pack openings, opening old packs from the 90s that are worth like, $20,000 or whatever. And I watch those all the time. It was kind of cool to see all those people
just
I watch
the
on live.
Streaming space, like just even that, because they were streaming like every kind of card pack opening there. Like just the streamer setup was freaking nuts to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're used to that. Like I've seen a few clips of it before, but it was a freaking like content madhouse central there.
Yeah, it was packed. I bought 2 Pokemon cards. One was for anybody who's into Pokemon, they'll know what I'm talking about. You're gonna be in the dark, Jacob, but I bought a Neo Destiny holographic Espeon, and I bought that.
The crowd going, whoa.
Yeah, whoa. It's not that crazy of a card. It was Japanese, so it was a little bit less expensive. It was around $80. The American version is $140, and that's just that's mint, so it wasn't graded or anything. Then I bought a graded Lugia. I'm a little rocky around like that.
Those words probably mean a lot to this crowd. That's not me.
Yeah, they'll know what I'm talking about. It was just some cards that I used to have as a kid that I mistreated, so I figured might as well pick them up.
Everything about the trip was so much fun. It definitely got off to a rocky start, I feel like, because I picked up Josh at 6:30 in the morning in the rental car, and we hit the road from Chicago to Cleveland, and there was not one thing about it that was smooth. Because let me tell you, I don't know anything about the state of Ohio, Indiana, but your freaking turnpike, whatever the hell system it's called, holy crap, it is brutal. Dude, it is brutal for a first timer that doesn't know what the heck they're doing. That's for sure. Oh my gosh. First of all, we were in a freaking Jeep, what was it? A Jeep Sahara?
Yeah, it was a hybrid or whatever.
Yeah, it was a hybrid that sucked on gas. So tell me how that makes sense. I think it was supposed to be like 5 hours and 40 minutes. I think it took us like every bit of 7.5 hours. We stopped to get lunch and gas, and it turned into like a 45-minute freaking wait just to get through a toll spot. Just like, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. And so for Josh, this is kind of a cool nugget for you guys, and he can talk about this. This was his first really like business trip. Now, your boy over here has done this a lot, traveled for work a lot. So to me, this was nothing new, but for Josh, he's got to be thinking like, damn, this is a rough start to the business trip.
Yeah, it was my first business trip. I'll cue the applause. I edit these videos, so applause. Thank you. It was super fun, but definitely started off super rocky. Mainly the traffic, and it was stupid traffic. Like, they were repainting the roads in the...
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
They're repainting them at what, like noon? Why would you do that
in the middle of the freaking day?
Yeah, so it's down to one lane on the highway for, I mean, how long?
And that was Indiana, so this is us taking shots at Indiana.
We took a lot of shots at Indiana, and then we gave Ohio a lot of credit, but the longer we were in Ohio,
the worse it got.
And we're like, they might be on the same playing field, but the city is beautiful.
Yeah, downtown Cleveland was cool. When we finally got there, I was definitely like, oh, thank God. And then we got to the hotel, stayed in a really nice Marriott that had a valet. Dude sold me on the valet like right off the start. So that was pretty fun. Right down by the Browns Stadium, like right by, is that a river or a lake right down by the downtown?
I think it's a river. I think it leads into a lake though.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was just a cool setup, cool little area. There's a lot of stuff to do around there. So it was a cool setup.
Fun fact, Spider-Man No Way Home was shot there. I confirmed that.
I
had a feeling it was shot there. I believe it was No Way Home, one of the newer Spider-Man films, but I was sitting in my hotel and I was like, I swear to God, this looks so familiar. And you never would guess that a Spider-Man movie would be filmed in Cleveland.
I mean, dude, that downtown area is cool. There's a lot of cool buildings. And they said, didn't our Uber driver say they just left from filming a Superman movie there too?
Oh yeah, I think it might be. They might be filming Superman Legacy. I don't think it's called Superman Legacy anymore, but it's James Gunn. I'm not going to get on a rant, but James Gunn, he's taken over the DC universe. He's the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy for all you Marvel nerds. So he's trying to revive that universe, and he's making a Superman film. And actually, the Man of Steel film, the last Superman film, was filmed, I think, in Plano, which was like 15 minutes from where I grew up, and it was cool.
Going into day one here, when we got there on Friday, we walked into the convention probably around like 1. It started off even there with the traffic just getting in. It was freaking insane because while we were trying to get in, there was a ton of people trying to get out. And I don't think me and Josh realized what we were walking into crowd-wise. But oh my freaking gosh, it was nuts. Just to get in was a freaking process that day one. Luckily, we got in, we got our wristbands, we got into the place. And the moment you walk in there, it's just like, where do you want to go? You could go to a little corner and literally just like get lost for an hour just in a little corner.
We should have taken National Card Convention more literal because it was way bigger than we thought it was going to be.
Dude, they had a Whatnot Cybertruck out front. Like it was a show, and like that freaking place was jam-packed like to the gills every single second that we were in there. And we saw a fat line of cars leaving when we pulled in on day one, and we're like, oh, okay, maybe the crowd's like kind of dying down here on the Friday afternoon. No, not even freaking close. There were lines wrapped around the freaking building when we were leaving for the VIP stuff.
We didn't do much just because, I mean, you're overwhelmed by all this stuff that's there.
Yeah, we had to take just I think we were there for what, like 3 hours or something like that, 3-4 hours. And
it still felt like we didn't see anything.
Oh my gosh. And it was draining too, because to get to any spot there, you're walking against a crowd or like swerving in and outside of people.
Yep.
But there's just so much going on that it's kind of like sensory freaking overload. I mean, dude, I had Gary Vee walk right past me with his son, and I didn't even realize it till he walked past me because there's so much freaking going on there.
Yeah. No, it was hot too. Super hot.
Oh my gosh.
Like
it was hot outside and it was hot in there.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah.
But super cool experience nonetheless.
But I mean, we left there after a few hours. We went back to our hotel, kind of hung out, ate some food, had a few drinks, and then, of course, the boys are looking for something to do. We found Jack's Casino in downtown Cleveland, like a half mile from our hotel. There's my player card. I'm going to cover my full name and everything. There's my player card from it. I feel like this would be cooler to say from your perspective, Josh, right up basically until you can say what happened. I think it's going to be cooler from your perspective, and then I'll chime in.
We decided to hit up the casino, and it was actually my first time at a casino. Me and my girlfriend in the past had not a slot addiction, but, a slot curiosity, I guess, for a few months.
And then this would cue my question. How have you played slots, but you've never been in a casino?
So in Illinois, you can have slot machines in gas stations, and you can have slot machines in certain restaurants. So we'd go to dive bars, and at her dive bar, they had slot machines. We won a lot in the first month. We'd do short 80-cent bets, but the last 2 months were brutal. So we stopped. But Jacob decides, hey, let's go to this casino. So I'm game. I feel like we're due.
Jack's in Cleveland is calling our name.
Yep, they were. I could literally see it from my hotel room. I'm not sure how much money did you take out?
$200.
$200. We hit the
fully
slots.
Expecting to lose that $200, by the way, folks.
Well,
that's the mindset you got to have when you go into a casino.
Yeah, or else you're gonna walk out really upset. But we hit the slots, and the first 2 slots are brutal. I mean, I think we dump everything in these 2 slots, and we have $40 left. I think it was.
Yeah,
and we didn't win anything.
Yeah, something like that. It went quick, though.
Yeah, super quick. I mean, we did that in the span of like less than 30 minutes. So the vibes were low. Jacob asked, he goes, what slot machine should I pick? And
yeah, because at that point I had picked 2 freaking losers, and it might as well.
Yeah, might as well give me a shot.
Luck.
Yeah, and there's this slot machine that I saw on TikTok a lot that I never got to play, the Big Bad Wolf one or whatever, and he like blows the house down and stuff. You can take it from there. Tell him what happens.
I put $40 in. We're playing. I don't think it went too well to start because I think I started off hammering the max bet on 1 cent denomination. So it was like $5 a bet. And so you can do the math on $40. You're not going to get too far. So I think I was like 6 spins in, lost like $30 and hadn't won anything. And then I clicked it again and lost. And I think I was down to like $5 or something like that.
Yeah, you were down
like
like
$6.
$5 or $6, yeah.
Right after that, I did 1 hit on a $1.50. I dropped it down to a $1.50 bet, and I hit that, and it didn't hit. And I had like, I think enough to bet the max in there. It was like $4.50 or maybe $5. And you said like, yeah, I like the $1.50. I hit the $1.50 one more time, hit the spin, and then I get 6 free games, right? Or was it 8 free spins?
Yeah, you get and you 6 free like mini game things.
Yeah, and you can look up how the game goes if you really want to find out, but basically
I'll throw it up.
Yeah, I had these houses at the end, and then the big bad wolf comes and blows the houses down to see how much money you have, and we're getting through all of them, and I had what, 2 mansions, which is what you want, right?
Yeah, you had 2 mansions. You can get a bunch of mansions, but you had 2, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, I had 2 of them. Blew the first one down, and I think it was like $100. So I was like, yay, sick. Blew the second one down, and it said grand jackpot. And my first instinct, and when you're looking at the screen, they have the grand jackpot on the left, all the other jackpots over here. My first instinct was like, oh, I won one of these jackpots looking at it. And then by the time I switched my eyes over to see that it was the grand jackpot, I literally looked at Josh and I did not think it was real.
Well, I didn't.
And then the freaking light went off, and it was like it started to get real when the light went off and everything started counting up. But basically, at the end of it all, your boy took $1.50 and turned it into, we'll leave out the specifics, but a little over $15,000, and then had to give some to Uncle Sam back. So your boy left the casino with just over $14,000. But when you win that kind of money, man, like, I was freaking nervous. We had a crowd forming around us. Everyone saying congrats. The freaking people come over. I'm like signing my life away. And then they're asking me like, do I want it in cash or in a check? So my responsible says, give me a Dr. Pepper, give me this check, and let's get the out of here. Before we leave, Josh has his luck go, and then you can talk about that.
You know, I did pick the slot and I picked the bet, so I got a little piece of the pie. You know, shout out to Jacob for that. More applause. And I decided,
the team out.
He gave me 500 up front to keep, 500 that I had to bet, or at least some of the 500. I ended up not betting the whole 500 because we kind of had to get out of there. Put 200 on roulette, never played that, lost it right away. Then we go to another slot machine, thinking that I'm not going to get it back, and I end up actually hitting a jackpot with free spins, and I put $100 in. Yeah, I put $100. And your
ticket was 304, right? 306, something like that.
So I ended up making $4 extra after my bets.
It was a good night for the boys. I stayed by the machine the whole freaking time because I was like, I'm not leaving until I have this check, and I've never won money like this, so I don't know what to do. And they were taking, it was probably an hour process to get the check in my hand. Finally, when they come back over, I was like, yeah, I was thinking about leaving, but I'm glad I stayed here because you guys finally came back. And they're like, oh, we would have found you even if you left the machine. But thank you for not doing that because it makes it way easier on us. And the more and more I think about that is wild because like I hit that and I go walking around the casino. Anywhere I am there, the guy literally said they would have found me.
Oh,
so
yeah. You're on the radar,
about that with
dude.
Cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, they got that facial recognition software. I mean, you're being watched after that, and you're most likely not going to win anything after that. When that dopamine rush made us pretty beat, but we bounced back. We got some content. I think we arrived at we arrived at the convention at around noon, 11:30.
Yeah, I would say around then. Again,
like
traffic not as crazy, but still a heck of a walk after you park.
Yeah, because you have to park in the back. You have to go all the way around.
Yeah, so we get in there, and we haven't talked about Jay, who we met yet. And Jay, one thing that he's really done for the game of baseball, and we were kind of looking at some of this stuff here, is first thing, he made the first deck for the Centennial World Series for the Negro Leagues in 1924. And I was kind of looking through this set, and there's some pretty awesome names here. One, I'm going to highlight some of these things. So this is something Jay was a part of, and he commissioned some artists that we talked to as well later on that helped him with this. But I just wanted to show some of this stuff for Jay just to give him a little bit of shout out because everything that he did with the Negro Leagues and kind of bringing black and white stuff to color was so cool. So I just want to highlight some of this stuff. First of all, we got to talk about these dudes' names. Freaking A1 Prime nicknames. If these were their real names, even freaking better. But I'm just going to read some of these. So you got Red Ryan.
Classic.
You got Bullet Rogan. What a freaking name. Let me see if the camera can get that a little bit better.
Love that guy.
Biz Mackey. I feel like if old Biz comes up to the plate, like, shoot.
Standing on business.
Let's see. Biz played all 10 games of this series, had 48 plate appearances, 244, hit a freaking triple. That's pretty sick. You got Dink Mothel. What a guy. Tank Carr, Judy Johnson, Script Lee. What a guy.
Wow.
Nip Winners.
That's my
How
favorite.
you get the nickname Whip or Nip? Sorry. I don't know. Dobie Moore. One of these guys. Oh, yeah. I think it's this guy. Plunk Drake.
We need to bring these names back.
Yeah. Plunk Drake. That's a freaking.
That's awesome.
Hurley McNair. Oh, my gosh. All I know is Hurley a pitcher? He wasn't a pitcher, so that's kind of throwing me off. He was an outfielder. This might be the best name of all of them. Heavy Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that one.
Heavy Johnson hit some heavy shots. Yellow Horse Morris.
That's wild.
So, yeah, this was the 1924 Negro League World Series, the 100th anniversary set that they made. There's 67 cards in here, and it was between the Kansas City Monarchs and the Hilldale Club. So, plug Jay for that. We did an awesome interview with Jay talking about kind of what he did, talking about the artists that he got to help him with this. Really cool story. Talk about his inspiration behind it. We'll roll into some of the artists that we talked to. We talked to Brian, just me and him, Brian Kong, for a little bit. Really freaking cool art. A lot of Yankees, really cool art, but a lot of other things, not just the Yankees too.
Yeah.
Really, like, go check out that video too, and go check out his art.
He turns like baseball players into they almost look like comic book panels.
Yeah.
It's super
like
cool.
Very cool. So go check out him on Instagram. Go check out his website. He was some really cool stuff. We have our interview with him as well. Go check that out. And then the next people that we talked to is we talked to the artists that helped Jay with all this Negro League stuff. And it was really cool. So it was Mike, Darrell, Jeff, and Greg. And then really cool nugget. Darrell, his father played in the Negro Leagues with Satchel Paige. So that was a really cool nugget. Also go listen to their interview or our interview with them. Really cool pieces of history that just like, again, dude, we're not going to know unless we go to this stuff. Go try to find content for the viewers and bring it to you folks. So if you like this stuff, make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe as well. So that kind of recapped day 2. And then your boys like had a little bit of time to kill. It was a nice day out. We went out to Royal Crest Golf Course just outside of Cleveland, played some golf, hacked around the ball a little bit, made a little content, played piss poor. We'll see how Josh edits it and shows how good or bad I played. But I had some great holes, had some bad holes, sunk a freaking massive 50-foot plus putt probably. Bogey boys. Go in. Go in. Oh, holy bro. Oh my God. That was just like probably the coolest putt I've ever made, and let alone it was on camera.
I know that my day of golf was, I didn't really show up that day.
It's okay.
I just got off of
getting back into the swing of things. Yeah, so we played 9 holes. I think we filmed 8 of them. Played pretty good. Had to wait a little bit, but the course was pretty nice for like what it was, and we got to enjoy the rest of the day. It definitely made both me and Josh realize we need to work on our golf game a little bit. Overall, I think we made it back in like 7.5 hours, something like that. I had some time to kill before my flight back to St. Louis. Great trip. Great first work trip for Josh. Great trip for us to get to know each other a little bit better. You learn some guys that you work with, you learn them a little bit better when you spend 14, 15 hours in the car with them.
Hard not to.
The trip was a freaking banger for your boy over here. I mean, you can't beat $1.50 into $15K. With that being said, smash a like, hit the comment button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Shoot us a comment. Tell us if you like this stuff. Tell us if you want to see the full golf stuff. We'll put out more content here soon, like the golf stuff, maybe the full interviews with those artists and all that kind of stuff. And just stay tuned. We got some more coming for you. Thanks as always to Game Time Bats for sponsoring this trip, sponsoring me and Josh getting to go do this fun stuff in Cleveland. Make sure you go check them out. Go cop a World Series bat. I mean, I can tell you what, I always knew that the market was there for souvenir stuff and there's a lot of collectors out there. But now after going to this, good Lord Almighty. With that, that's all we got. Thanks, Game Time.